Greetings, folks. Glad to have y'all here on this Wednesday evening for some more SCSRA Cup Series racing from New Hampshire here today. 160 laps will be the distance for the main event here, and there will be a stage break at lap 50. One of the big components here in the SCSRA Dev Sports Cards Cup Series has been parity this season. We have seen six different winners in the first 6 races. Here tonight, it's race number 7 on the calendar. And this would be kind of the midway point for the most part. As there is a grand total of 15. So next week, obviously, Thanksgiving. Happy early Thanksgiving to all those tuning in here tonight. Won't be any races next Wednesday in honor of Thanksgiving. So today kind of marks a midway break for these drivers as well. One more race before the holiday break. And of course, we'll have Christmas down the line too, so that'll give us another extended break later on. We'll rejoin after Thanksgiving for a 3-race push, and then Christmas and New Year's off, as they'll put together the final 5 in January, capping it all off on February 4th in Homestead. And of course, with all that parity, there has been some common denominators. Obviously, the number one common denominator has been Jesse Whittington, your current points leader, who has continually done all he can to finish pretty much top 3 week in and week out. So this number 94 Chevrolet of Jesse Whittington, keep your eyes on him here today. He could potentially be the first guy to get 2 wins this season. He almost had it at Indianapolis. Digging the new paint scheme here, Lions 3D design. So he's kind of, shakes it up with the paint scheme department every week, and we got another neat looking paint scheme here on track for the number 94. He will be our in-car cam feature here tonight as well. Riding along with him at the moment as he's on track here during practice. We'll be able to utilize the in-car cam, the rig cam, I guess you could say, for Jesse Whittington. And so far, 16 drivers signed up into the server here for race number 7 at New Hampshire. 15 of which have taken a time here in practice. Fastest so far, Matt Parasini. And also let me take this opportunity here with 5 minutes left in practice to give a shout out to all of our sponsors that help bring Intensity Broadcasting broadcasts week in and week out. So obviously, starting off with the title sponsor, tonight's broadcast presented by Dev Sports Cards, the primary partner of the SCSRA and a consistent supporter of this league. Their eBay store has a fresh batch of auctions closing soon, from star rookies to vintage chase cards. If you want to support the people who support sim racing, check out Dev Sports Cards on eBay before those listings expire. And so bringing a whole new dimension to immersive entertainment, Butt Kicker has pioneered tactile feedback technology that lets you feel the action. Whether you're behind the wheel in a sim rig, watching a blockbuster in your home theater, or in the studio dialing in the low end, with 2 decades of industry leadership, their haptic transducers convert audio signals into physical vibration, turning sounds into sensations. If you ever wish you could feel that racing shift, explosion, or bass drop, Butt Kicker makes it real. And as always, Butt Kicker, our honorary replay cam here on Intensity Broadcasting with the SCSRA Dev Sporting Cards Cup Series. And all of these sponsors and such are in the links down below, so in the description of the video, if you're interested or have more curiosity as to the sponsors that help put on the shows here, give them a visit. Go check out those links and see what they're all about. Another one that we have with the hidden opponent. In racing, everyone prepares for the competitors they can see, but one of the toughest opponents a driver can face never shows up on the timing screen. The hidden opponent is tackling the mental health battle inside the helmet, educating athletes, supporting teams, and giving the racing community language, tools, and leadership to talk about what usually stays silent. Because when drivers confront the hidden opponent, it doesn't just make them faster, it makes the whole garage stronger. And so the hidden opponent helps put together tutors and other coaching for those in the racing community to help fight mental health dilemmas and whatnot. So great cast of sponsors for Intensity Broadcasting. Always giving a shout out to them here at the start of the broadcasts, week in and week out, as we're down to now just 2 minutes left in practice. And that gives us some time here to start looking at the playoff pictures, the championship bubble and all that stuff. And any of those that are tuned in watching that know more than I do, I'm not for certain when the playoffs start, but I'm assuming it'll be the final 5 races of the season. So if there's anyone that could leave a comment in the comment section giving me confirmation on when the playoffs actually start here in the SCSRA Cup Series, I would greatly appreciate it. But right now we're going to look at the point standings in what is being contested right now, the 11th season of the SCSRA Cup Series. Obviously, Jesse Whittington, your points leader. He has 281 total points. Garrett Walden, second at 235, along with Charles Stevens, third in the points. So pretty much a 1-2-3 knockout for Cypress Academy, as those three take the top 3 spots in the championship battle right now. And then you've got Matthew Fritz and Justin Parham, a pair of drivers that race for Venom Racing. So it's kind of a battle between Venom Racing and Cypress Academy for the top 5 spots in the overall championship standings right now. Ryan Gomes for Neon Racing sits 6th in the points. Kenneth Redinger, Joseph Irwin, after missing a race, he drops all the way from 2nd to 8th in the points. They do get a throwaway race, but I don't know how that all pans out with missing a track like the road course last week, perhaps. Rounding out your top 10, you've got Matt Bands and Vince Brent for that championship point standings. So practice session has come to a close here. And we're going to get ready for qualifying. We'll do good old-fashioned hot potato, jumping around the field here as they come out to make their qualifying laps here today. New Hampshire, definitely one of those tough tracks to tangle with, as it's such a flat 1 mile track. Getting the right setup, getting the right approach, all of that kind of comes down to making this race fall in line with your strategies and whatnot. So we will see tonight who's got the strategy, who's got the setup to dominate here at the Magic Mile, or perhaps we'll see some strategies and mix up. You know, maybe it's not a dominant race for someone. Maybe we get to see pit stops and other things factor in here tonight. Top of the board, Justin Parham already early in the first lap U-turn. Top four, you got Parham, Stinson, Hall, and Ledesma Jr. This will be his second timed lap. We'll keep on board with the 44. His second lap's going to be good for 7th quickest, so didn't pick up very much there. Here's one that might be a threat for top position, as you got Jesse Whittington on the racetrack. Top of the board though, Sharn Hill takes it over, but not so quickly there. Matt Perisini jumps to the top of the board at a 29.40. Sharn Hill on his second lap jumps to the top with a 29.38. So they're throwing some haymakers there for these lap times. Jesse had to reset his lap run there, it looks like, and respawn at pit road. Looks like they're going to have about 2 minutes left in qualifying. My bad, not practice. 2 minutes left here in qualifying, so if you can get those laps counted before you run out of time, that's really the big kicker here. Also joining the track for a lap is Matthew Fritz. We'll see what Whittington's got. It's going to be timed lap here. We'll see what he's got. First lap in the books, that's going to be a 29.72. I wonder if he threw away his first lap, so that might be all he's got here for qualifying. The last car getting the lap dialed in here, it's going to be Matthew Fritz. Down the front stretch now for his first timed lap. And that will be good for 9th quickest at a 29.61. Been able to see drivers pick it up on their second lap here, so Fritz might be able to pick it up. He could, by 1/10 of a second, jump up about 5 spots. So that's how tight they are from 4th to 9th. Separated by about 1/10. In his second lap, top of the board, Matthew Fritz jumps to P1 with a 29.37, earning himself pole position here as everyone else has finished their laps. So may very well be the first pole position for Matthew Fritz this season, if my memory serves me right. So top of the board, Matthew Fritz. Starting second, you've got Sharn Hill, followed by Matt Perisini and Vince Brent. 5th place is going to be Ryan Gomes. 6th, Matt Bayens. 7th, Justin Parham. 8th, Charles Stevens Jr. 9th place belongs to Jay Stinson. 10th, Kenneth Redinger. Then you've got Jesse Whittington starting deep here tonight. As you can see, he was only about 3/10 off of the pole position, but that's, you know, that's quite a distance back there in lap times under qualifying conditions. Josh Hall starting in 12th. And the rest of the field, as they line up, you got Billy Titoff, Joe Irwin, Garrett Walden, Jorge Ledesma Jr., and Lauren Vincent. Yeah, this field is stout. The fact that we've had 6 different winners in the first 6 races goes to show that the parity is strong. And when you've got names like Matthew Fritz, Sharon Hill, Matt Parasini, Vince Brent, and Ryan Gomes all winless, and they're all starting at the front of the field here today, we could see that parity train continue to roll all the way into the Thanksgiving break. Well, the drivers are going to get settled in for an endurance run here today. 160 laps at New Hampshire is no walk in the park. The pace car pulls off.
Green, green, green.
Leading them to the start here today, it's Matthew Fritz and Sharon Hill. Good push there for Matt Parasini. 67 is going to be able to send it in there. Full send into turn 1. Sharon Hill goes drop low there. And we're going to see him get settled in single file for the top 3 at the moment. Already early lap leader here, Matthew Fritz taking the top spot and kind of setting the pace as the rest of the field behind them trying to get sorted into positions behind. Sharon Hill closing up on the number 67 there. Yeah, when you look at the field, how many drivers that are capable of winning here in the SCSRA Cup Series, there's a good chance that we could see parity all the way through the entire series this year for 15 races. That would be the dream, would be to have 15 different winners. Would really show you the strength of the field and just how, you know, stacked the competition is here. Definitely a driver's track that New Hampshire is. It takes some more skills than some drivers may have, and so what we're seeing here today potentially is drivers that have put in the time, put in the test hours at this track, or have simply just became very familiar with it. You never know, some of them maybe even race locally at the New Hampshire track. As as you can see, Sharn Hill closing the gap here on Fritz. Matt Pericini knocking on the door. You got a 3-car battle for the front of the field here. Matthew Fritz by no means holding up your leaders here. They are just trying to find an opening where an opening may not be as easy to access here at New Hampshire. Great racing here at the front of the field. 3-car breakaway from the rest of the contenders. Matthew Fritz has led every lap so far, holding his own and defending very well. Number 5 tried to dip low and stab high. 67 not flinching under the duress of the competitors trying to get the top spot. Sharn Hill as well doing really good at defending his second place there. 24 of Matt Pericini. He is trying to find the line to make the move, but the 5 will not let him by. And these 3 have really broke it out from the rest of the field. 4th place is now Matt Bands. 5th place, Kenneth Redinger. Ryan Gomes in 6th. Vince Brent in 7th. Joe Irwin plus 6. That seems to be a very, very popular trend with this number 03 of Joe Irwin. Starts deep in the field, climbs all the way to the top. Doesn't seem to have the qualifying prowess, but definitely when it comes to race time has the driving prowess. And he's showing some speed again here today at New Hampshire. Already up 6 spots from where he qualified here today. Meanwhile, Jesse Whittington sets in 12th at the moment, struggling a little bit. It's a long race though, so kissed the wall on the exit of the turn, so he might not have quite the feel or setup the 94 was desiring to have at the start of the race. Might need to make some adjustments and get that car right by the finish. Right there you've got the 07 of Warren Vincent in the Dr. Pepper 07 scheme. Behind him, you've got Jorge Ledesma Jr. And it seems like Josh Hall must have made a pit stop, and he's on the tail end of the lead lap, halfway around the track. Stage brake sure to help him here, unless we get a caution before then. Back to our leaders. You got Fritz leading the way, Sharn Hill second, Matt Pericini in third. And that battle for second is continuing to stay pretty tight here. Matt Pericini keeps taking a stab. The 5 keeps the preferred line away from him though. On to second, defending well. I learned from last week at Watkins Glen is to try and follow the ticker a little closer for tight battles. As right there we jump back to 7th place, Joe Irwin making the pass on Vince Brent there. That number 03 is climbing through the field in a hurry. Joe Irwin has a win on the season. Just recently, a couple weeks ago, got the win. And so Joe Irwin, after missing the race last week, as I mentioned, dropped from 2nd in the points back to 8th. Kind of a tough break, missing a race altogether. But with that one win, where he got the win right around Halloween on the Richmond race that we had a couple weeks ago. Ran at Indianapolis, but skipped out on Watkins Glen. And here he is back today after missing out on the last race, picking up where he left off. So Matt Parasini during the transition there makes the pass on Sharn Hill. Sharn Hill falls back to third here for now. All in the meanwhile, Matthew Fritz has put together about a 1 second lead on the rest of the field, the top three that is. Sharn Hill not going to give up though. He's going to try to fight back on the 24 car. Redinger up to fourth. He got by Matt Baynes to take that spot. And as this race has been rolling smoothly since the drop of the green flag, we are 18 laps in without a caution yet. All 18 laps have been led by Matthew Fritz. Matt Parasini trying to close that gap though, potentially on the move here. 24 could catch him. Looks like Jay Stinson dropping. He falls back to 14th. That's 5 spots back from where he started. A lot of cars moving around in here. Well, just like that, another pass by Joe Irwin as he's right up alongside Matt Baynes for what would be 5th place. And there he is, making his move up to 5th. He's going to have to catch Kenneth Redinger, though. That's 2 seconds ahead, 3 seconds actually, the advantage that Kenneth Redinger has over Joe Irwin. But at the lap times that Joe Irwin is turning right now, he's going to be able to catch up with Kenneth Redinger before the end of this stage.
Caution, yellow flag.
And that'll help his case a little bit more now that the first caution of the race comes out here on lap 21. And so we're going to go ahead and dial up a butt kicker replay here. See what our caution is for. Yellow flag. I don't see where or why. I apologize, folks. I'm just kind of skimming through here. I don't know what the caution was actually for. So maybe a debris caution. I don't know. We don't really get debris cautions in iRacing all that much, but there was no one on track that was out of line or off the racing surface, so kind of a ghost caution there. Kind of hard to say what when all the cars are still running, no one's damaged or broken. Guess it is what it is. Debris caution here in iRacing. or as I like to call them, a bogus debris caution. Back in the day when NASCAR actually had kind of unplanned cautions that was before stage racing, obviously. And that kind of evolved into what we know today as the stage racing, which works better than random cautions that were unplanned. So this puts us at halfway through the first stage, basically. 24 going on lap 25 through 50 laps of the first stage. Getting doubled up for the restart. Matthew Fritz has led all the laps so far here today. Matt Pericini's moved up to second. Also in the mix, you got Kenneth Redinger, Sharon Hill, and Justin Parham. Seems like we had some folks decide to pit under this first caution. That seems to have helped the 94 of Jesse Whittington gain about 5 spots here up into the top 10.
Green flag, green flag.
And we're back and rolling here. New Hampshire, wow, they got checked up very bad on the inside line. The 24 just did not get rolling. You saw the domino effect there as everyone got bunched up and bumped into the rear bumper of the guy in front of them. 24 seems to finally have the wheels rolling here, but not after losing about 2 or 3 spots on the initial start. Kenneth Redinger taking a stab at the lead there. 24 bouncing back pretty rapidly as he's up to third and on the attack for second. Jesse Whittington up into fifth. It's a good time as any to dial up some side-by-side racing action.
Caution, yellow flag.
Well, just like that, we've got ourselves another caution, our second caution. We'll have to put this on hold for a moment. We'll go ahead and dial up the butt kicker replay for this one. So it looks like at the back of the field here, involved in the caution, the 03 of Joe Irwin, who pitted. Somehow Sharon Hill got relegated all the way back here as well. Oh, wow. Okay. So yeah, Sharon Hill, Joe Irwin, was he going a lap down? How did this transpire? Because the 5 of Sharon Hill was running in 7th. Joe Irwin was going a lap down, I assume? Oh, I guess he did start right behind Sharon Hill there, which would have been about 8th. Huh. He must have just been on the move from the pit stop. But now he's all the way back to 17th after that, so. Not sure if there was intent behind that or not. It just, wrong place, wrong time for the 03 of Irwin, I believe. Sharon Hill kind of bumped into him on the first turn. It wasn't until the second turn that it went all haywire. So yeah, this was even prior to that initial wreck. Going back a whole lap, used up the 03 of Irwin, and then kind of finishes the job here in turns 3 and 4. Don't want to say that necessarily because I don't want to assume, but it just, yeah, it looked a little bit funky from our angle here with the camera. I feel like the 5 maybe just overdrove it there, lost his brakes, and then those two were racing hard for a whole lap, basically. But the second time, coming through turns 3 and 4 was just too much to correct it there. And Joe Irwin brings out the second caution here tonight. Okay, so getting ready for the restart. We'll go ahead and do our driver cam here with Jesse Whittington.
Green flag.
20 laps left in the stage here. Jesse Whittington running 6th as we follow along on the in-car cam. Right ahead of him is the 31 of Jay Stinson, Matt Parasini, Justin Parham, Kenneth Redinger, and your race leader, Matthew Fritz. Right up close and personal with the 31 of Jay Stinson as they roll down the front stretch. Going into turn 1, he's going to send it in there. We kind of lose visual on the 31, but here he comes back around the high side. I'm not sure he's clear yet. Can definitely hear the 31 right in the background there. I think he's going to get by for 5th place there with Matt Parasini, the next one on the radar. And here comes Ryan Gomes on the low side. That puts Gomes up into the top 5 here with Justin Parham just ahead of him. Matt Parasini in 3rd. Kenneth Redinger still running in 2nd, and Fritz your leader. As we're down to 15 laps left in the stage here. Stage break upon the horizon. Wow, just like that, Joe Irwin is still moving through the field. He's up 5 spots up into the top 10 yet again. He seems to always be shot out of a cannon. The 03 he's tough to beat. You know, raw speed is a rarity. The ability to put that speed to the racetrack without getting wrecked or making mistakes, that's a totally different subject. And it seems like, you know, he's kind of a glass cannon. Launched out of a cannon, yes, but the glass cannon perspective being that he's fast and he looks like he could steal, you know, race win every given week. But because he starts so deep in the field, he finds himself in more accidents, more mistakes that are not his doing. Just like tonight with him and Sharon Hill getting spun out, racing through the field. I mean, there's 160 laps in this race, but you only have so many mulligans during the race that if you burn all those mulligans, you're kind of out of chances to get back through the field. And then again, factor in all the damage that may be sustained during those wrecks and accidents that he had no control over. He would be truly dangerous, and on a level of Kyle Larson dangerous, if he could put down qualifying to match the race pace that he often has. Now, if we were to give out an award at the end of the year based on who's made the most passes, I think already through 7 races, Joe Irwin would have a landslide victory over most of the field, since he always seems to be coming from the back to the front. Then he gets dropped to the back again and comes right back up to the front. Truly wild. Missed the lead change though. Matt Parasini took over the top spot from Matthew Fritz. Fritz kind of dropping back here. That's the highest we've seen Gomes here today, up to second in the number 55 Caterpillar entry. We got 2 Fords and the entire field of Chevys. Matt Parasini looking to steal the stage victory here. Matthew Fritz led for a strong 40 laps before falling off there at the end of this run here. So Matt Parasini, Ryan Gomes, Fritz, your top 3. Redinger, Whittington, Parham, Walden, Stinson, Irwin, and Brent, your top 10. Followed by Bayan, Stevens Jr., Sharon Hill, Vincent, Paul, your top 15, with Ledesma and Titoff rounding out the field. So, of course, sticking true to the parity rule that we've had this year, Matt Parasini is not yet victorious this year. Nor is Ryan Gomez, not Gomes. I apologize. Ryan Gomes has not yet won this season, nor has Matthew Fritz. Kenneth Redinger does have a win. So does Jesse Whittington. But when you look at the field, I mean, we've got a lot of drivers that have not yet won this season. Four of our first 6 winners are in the field here tonight, 2 of which are not. Travis Bennett, who came out last week to just run the road course, and potentially some other races later on in the season, we'll see. 1 race in, 1 win on the charts for Travis Bennett. He totally stomped the field at Watkins Glen. And our other race winner, that of Zachary Stevens, we haven't seen for a while either. Zachary Stevens only made 2 starts so far this year. And those 2 races were Daytona and Texas. So the first 2 races, basically, of the season. Or 2 of the first 3 races, actually. Some pretty key names missing from the field here tonight include the likes of Warren, Kyle Keith, Nathan Brzezowski, John McNeil, we've seen him run pretty stout. A few other drivers that are absent here today, but 17 cars is still a stout field. New gainer up to third. You've got Jesse Whittington on the move here. And this will be the end of the stage here. Matt Parasini kind of driving away with it at the moment. They'll complete one more lap here and it will be stage break time. Matt Parasini has a 2.5 second lead over Ryan Gomes. Gomes has about a 1 second lead over Jesse Whittington.
Caution, yellow flag.
And there is your stage break. Stage winner, 24 of Matt Parasini. So with 109 laps left to go in this race, you kind of have to start thinking about strategy and whether or not this pit stop here under stage break caution, what it's going to do for the rest of your race. Yeah, because 110 laps is going to be a little bit past the window of about anywhere between 80 to 100 laps that these cars should be able to go on a tank of fuel at the 1 mile track here. So whether or not we get some more cautions, we'll see how that'll help them or hinder them. There's definitely going to be at least one more pit stop for everyone involved somehow, some way. Unless there's someone that wants to try and stretch the fuel numbers with caution laps, we'll see. But yeah, anywhere between lap 80 laps to a 100 lap run is about the window for these cars here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Lights are off on the pace car. Getting set for the restart. It's going to be Matt Parasini, Ryan Gomes, Kenneth Redinger, Garrett Walden, and Justin Parham, your top 5. Matthew Fritz unfortunately dropped a couple spots on the pit stop. Looks like he lost about 3, settling into 6th at the moment for this restart. The rest of your top 10 includes Jesse Whittington, Jay Stinson, Matt Vance, and Vince Brent. On the outside looking in, you got Sharon Hill, Josh Hall, Charles Stevens Jr., Jorge Ledesma Jr., Lauren Vincent, Joe Irwin, and Billy Titoff.
Green, green, green.
We're back and rolling here on lap 54. Matt Parasini gets the jump, heads off into turn 1 with a big advantage over the 55 car. Everyone on fresh tires, full tank of gas. We'll see if anyone made any adjustments during the pit stop there to try and get their cars right. Garrett Walden up to 2nd. And here comes Ryan Gomes on the inside of Kenneth Redinger. Whoops, it looks like Josh Hall got in a little bit of trouble there. Let's hop back a lap and see what happened. Racing with the 07 of Lauren Vincent. Oh, they make contact. Spotter might not have been able to relay the message quick enough for the 81 as those two made contact in the middle of turn 1. No, and we're losing a car in the background there. That's like the 44 of Jorge Ledesma Jr. And still no caution, but let's see exactly what happened there. A lot going on within this restart. No caution, just kind of lost it there. And tried to lose it again, but saves it, keeps it going straight. Meanwhile, trying to keep up with all the racing action on track. Matthew Fritz up to 4th, Parham running in 5th. Jesse Whittington up to 6th. Ryan Gomes unfortunately drops backwards here. He was up in the top 5. Now he's slotted in 8th. And he's dropping even further back to 10th now. Have a move being made there. The 94 gets right up on the back bumper of Justin Parham. Will keep rise. 79 of Billy Titoff spun out, stalled on the inside of the racetrack there. No caution. We stay green. Yet again, this has been the action zone, I guess, coming out of turn 2. 79 driving it, loses it just like we saw the other two cars. Loses it completely. Hits the inside wall. Stalls, waits for the lead traffic to come by so he doesn't get in the way of their racing. Well, I hope everyone else is able to keep up with all the action on track here. I'm just trying to give you the play-by-play as it's going along. It seems like we keep getting thrown a curveball here left and right. 99 laps left to go. Does look like Garrett Walden's trying to close the gap on Matt Parasini just a little bit. Everyone's pretty much evenly spread out through the field here. Each driver within about at least a half second of the guy or person in front of them. Sharn Hill keeps closing the gap here though on the 92 of Vince Brent. Sharn Hill going to be able to make a pass right there, catching up to the back bumper of the 92. Catching them is one thing, making the pass completely different. Sometimes tougher to do at this track in particular.
Caution, yellow flag.
Oh, whoa, whoa, that's our race leader, Matt Parasini. Rex at the front of the field. Whoa. Well, that just took a turn for the wild. Go ahead and dial up the butt kicker replay here and see what exactly happened. So this has been the tough spot on the racetrack coming out of turn 2. Seems to be reaching up and grabbing these drivers like Miles the Monster at Dover. From the lead, Matt Pericini starting to lose it in the middle of the turn there. You can see him sliding. He's sliding. Car losing traction. He's trying to save it, overcorrects it, and comes back up the racetrack. Fortunately for the 43, he misses it. The 99 of Redinger gets a kiss. 67 of Fritz kisses the outside wall. And it looks like everyone else kind of makes their way around the 24 without too much contact here. Man, what a tough break. From the lead of the race, loses it. Definitely heartbreaking. Still a lot of laps to get this back, though. Pericini, he might be down, but he's not out. And this is actually almost perfect timing for Caution to get them a pit stop within 100 laps to go. It's going to be tight. I mean, you're going to want to save as much fuel. Save. But it's going to help a lot that you're within that window now and not have to worry too much about running out of fuel here today with the final push to the race. Jesse Whittington back up into the top 5. We'll go ahead and dial up some more side-by-side camera for this restart here. Alrighty, it's about 92 laps left to go here tonight. Garrett Walden drives into turn 1 with the big advantage. Jesse Whittington using that outside line to his advantage, and he's going to try to get up to second here. On the outside, Kenneth Redinger hanging tight on the inside. And no challenge whatsoever. The 99 settles into line right behind Whittington. Jesse on the charge now. He has Garrett Walden right in his sights. Matt Pericini all the way back in 14th after spinning out from the lead. We'll try to keep an eye on the rest of the field as they try to advance back through. Looks like Matthew Fritz is really close to completing the pass here. He's right there alongside the 55. We're under caution for the 4th time here today. Another caution. Nope, there's what our caution seems to have been for. The 81 spins it there. It's crazy, we saw some spinners like that that didn't bring out the caution earlier here today, yet that one did, so. Flaggers might be snoozing up on the flag stand here today, making some rash decisions based on some strange circumstances based on the two that we saw earlier that didn't get called, and then calling that one. So under caution for the 4th time here today, as folks are going to come down, pits, get fuel, get tires, whatever they need to try and make it to the finish here tonight. Alrighty, getting set for the restart here on lap 74.
Green, green, green.
Walton with the big jump on the high side. That'll bring the 84 of Charles Stevens Jr. around the outside of the 94. Jesse Whittington with a long run there on the inside. Closes the door on the 84, and he's back on the attack for the lead. Restarts here, definitely some of the most frantic moments when it comes to racing. Some tracks it's not as frantic, but this, for whatever reason, the layout, the design of New Hampshire, the restarts carry a little bit more added pressure, it seems like, as the track varies from the low side to the high side, and you can see the lines, variable lines, and how each driver's approach is very different from each other. Sometimes they're better on the high side, sometimes they're better on the low side, and each restart's where you get to make the most of it, gaining or losing those spots as you work the line that's most comfortable for you. Ooh, Vince Brent gets loose in the back, and he's going to fall from about 10th back to the back 16th or so. Tough break for Vince Brent. Jesse Whittington running second. Garrett Walden, your leader. And Charles Stevens in third makes for a Cypress Academy 1-2-3. A very common trend that we've seen all season long. Cypress Academy seems to have podium power. Ryan Gomes, though, with Neon Racing, and Matthew Fritz with Venom Racing, keeping them honest. Any one of those two, even Redinger in sixth, they could steal some spots from the Cypress Academy. Top three runners right now. Looks like Matt Parasini making some moves to get back through the field here. He's already back up to 10th. On the attack here, he's got the 19 that he's trying to close the gap on. Just ahead of that, you've got the likes of Ryan Gomes and Kenneth Redinger duking it out for position. That'd be 5th, 6th, 7th, and on, with Matt Parasini running in 10th there. Also at the front, Matthew Fritz under attack here. Trio of cars right behind him. Almost a quad group of cars. Didn't quite go 4 wide, but they could have made it 4 wide there any given moment. 3 wide and 2 wide, all fighting for that position right behind the 67 of Matthew Fritz. Oh, and the 84 loses
The yellow
it.
flag is out.
Well, that marks the halfway point here in the race today. And our 5th caution halts the racing action here. So that was the 84 of Charles Stevens Jr. Here with a butt kicker replay. Let's see what exactly transpires. We'll find the helicopter cam here. 84 is on the outside of the 55. He's cutting low, and the 55 holding his line there. Unfortunately, I don't think the 55 did much wrong. The 84 didn't really know he was there. Everyone else kind of got bunched up. The 24 of Matt Parasini, like a bowling ball, pushing through the 19 and the 31. So not a whole lot of damage, but definitely quite a few moving pieces there. Involved a couple drivers in that one. We're getting back rolling here on the restart at lap 85, just south of halfway here tonight. Garrett Waldner leader, Jesse Whittington in second, Kenneth Redinger in third, Matthew Fritz back up to fourth. Jorge Ledesma Jr. plus 11 he's gained, getting up to fifth here. Sharn Hill back on the rebound as well, up into sixth. We're back and rolling here. Garrett Walden drives out front. bit feisty for second place there. The 99 and Kenneth Redinger hangs it on the high side, gets around the 94 of Jesse Whittington. Sharn Hill back up to 5th here. He's fighting alongside the 67 of Matthew Fritz. Fritz stays low. Performing the passover maneuver, the 5 goes low when the 67 cut high. 03 of Joe Irwin up to 7th. Make that 6th as he's trying to get around Jorge Ledesma Jr. So Joe Irwin waking up here on the south side of halfway. Sharn Hill going around Jesse Whittington on the high side. Kind of wonder if Jesse is maybe saving his stuff a little bit here as he's dropped back to 5th. All in the meanwhile, Kenneth Redinger sitting in 2nd, trying to catch Garrett Walden, the leader. Down to 71 laps left to go here at New Hampshire. Looks like about a 6-car breakaway from the rest of the field. Charles Stevens Jr. leads the secondary group back there in 7th on back. Making some moves, it looks like Josh Hall. Bounce back to that 2nd pack here. He's fighting it out with the 92 of Vince Brent. They're getting around the 44 of Jorge Ledesma Jr., who's dropping like a rock. Josh Hall up into the top 10 here for the first time tonight. Making the most of the rebound here late in the race. Back to the front of the field here. That's actually insanely impressive. Garrett Walden plus 14 spots here today. He qualified 15th of 17 drivers, and he has climbed his way, clawed, scratched, and fought his way to the front of the field. We did see Matt Pericini dominantly hold the lead for a good portion of this race, as well as Matthew Fritz, who had started on the pole and led for the first 40 laps. But since those two slightly faltered, Matthew Fritz has bounced back. Matt Pericini still trying to climb his way back. Garrett Walden has found the front position since then. And Joe Irwin plus 10. We might see the top 2, maybe even the top 3 as the drivers have gained the most spots here today. Kenneth Redinger plus 8. Joe Irwin plus 10. Matthew Fritz minus 2 since he was your pole setter. But he's still right there hanging in with the front of the field. .65 laps to go. Garrett Walden holding the lead by about a full half-second advantage over Kenneth Redinger. Kenneth Redinger with about a half-second advantage over Matthew Fritz. Fritz only has a quarter of a second advantage right now. Joe Irwin, who is closing quickly. And with Joe Irwin, that would make your top 3 running position, the top 3 highest gainers in the race. Which in its own would be kind of a wild statistic to hold. It's getting close for comfort here. Matthew Fritz is going to have to defend. The 03 blows by, moves up to 3rd. But trying to pass over on him, make the pass back maneuver. 03 just driving away with it now. Plus 11 for Joe Irwin from his qualifying position. So the drivers that qualified 14th, 10th, and 15th are running 1, 2, and 3. It's a wild turn of events here today. Just goes to show you that sometimes qualifying is not all it's cracked up to be. You might be able to be fast in a quick lap session, start up front, but once you get into the race, it's a whole different creature altogether. And the glass cannon that is Joe Irwin has been able to go from the back to the front, to the back to the front, all the way to the back, and all the way up to the front again. Seems to be a very topsy-turvy portfolio if you're looking at a stock market. The crash, the rise, the crash again, and the fact that it's rising at the end when it all matters the most, where you can cash in. 60 laps to go. Who's going to have what it takes to win the race now? I do imagine everyone should be good to go on fuel numbers here, but you never know. Honestly, it could take a wild turn within these last 60 laps. Well, Joe Irwin not wasting any time here as he's trying to close the gap on Kenneth Redinger for 2nd. Don't want to jinx it, of course, but Joe Irwin potentially could be our first guy to get 2 wins this season, as we don't have anyone else in the top 5 with a prior win this season. The next guy in line is Jesse Whittington in 6th, which even then don't count out Jesse Whittington for a chance of getting back through the field here. It's like Matt Parasini trying to close in on Justin Parham here. That's a battle for 8th place. Side by side rolling into the turn. Might be a 2-for-1 special. Not quite, though. The 84 gets back into the gas pretty quickly there. But Parasini's going to try. If he can send it in there, might be able to get a good run on the 84 while he's at it. Joe Irwin closing the gap on Kenneth Redinger. There's a lot of good battles through the field right now. It's kind of hard to stick with just one. Matt Parasini does get the 2-for-1 special, and Joe Irwin gets the advantage on the 99. Might not have been a very clean pass. Looked like he kind of got right into his left front bumper there. 99 might try to take matters back into his own hands here. Trying to follow the battles, and we missed both of them. So Matt Parasini on the rebound. He's about 3.5 seconds back from 6th place though, but if he can get back up into the top 6 with about 55 laps here left to go, there could be a chance that Parasini gets back into the mix as well. But it's crazy. 15th and 14th in qualifying. Running 1-2 right now. Garrett Walden qualified 15th. Joe Irwin qualified 14th. And there they are running 1-2. That's simply amazing. Kenneth Redinger qualified 10th, so he's been able to, gain a bunch. Jesse Whittington 11th, qualified 11th. He's up to 5th right now. And Garrett Walden's going to have to put together masterful final stint here to keep the 03 behind him. Pretty sure if in the seat of that 43, you're going to be turning qualifying laps every lap here until the finish. One thing that Garrett Walden is not going to want to see is any form of caution within this final stretch of the race with about 51 laps left to go. Joe Irwin on equal footing with the 43. It might be game over for Garrett Walden. So the longer this race stays green, the better for the 43 team, that they can keep this 03 at a bit more of a disadvantage here. Looks like Joe Irwin's times are starting to fall off a little bit. He's clipped the wall a couple times here in the last 2 laps. He has a 2-second gap to make up. Meanwhile, Jesse Whittington trying to close the gap on Matthew Fritz for 4th. Side by side through the turns, he's going to have the advantage and take the position away. Jesse Whittington from 11th here today. 11th, 10th, 14th, and 15th. As racing goes, that's honestly, one of the coolest things. You get to see stuff like this pan out. It's not always the fastest cars up at the front that keep it there. Sometimes it's the cars in the back that get to work on it and methodically claw and scratch their way out to the front. Fastest lap in the race so far belongs to the 24 of Matt Parasini, a 29.22 earlier in the race. Second fastest was Matthew Fritz. But since the fast lap times have fallen off, it seems like the racecraft is kicking in here. And you've got drivers that haven't had the fastest laps here today work their way up to the front. And here Kenneth Redinger and Joe Irwin, they're trying to duke it out. Joe Irwin used his stuff up as he's now 3 seconds off the lead to Garrett Walden. Kenneth Redinger getting side by side with the 03 car. Drag race down the front stretch. This might open up the door for Jesse Whittington. Oh, and they're getting aggressive, fighting for the positions here now. We'll go ahead and follow along with Jesse Whittington here on the in-car cam. Definitely a high-pressure, high-intensity moment when you've got these two fighting for second place right in front of you, and you don't know what kind of moves they're going to make. For Jesse Whittington, simply sitting back and watching and learning what lines they're running, what moves they're attempting so that he doesn't put himself in a bad spot. All in the meanwhile, Garrett Walden up to about a 4-second advantage on the leaders here. Yeah, Joe Irwin, I think, used his stuff up. He's not looking as fast as he once was. So once you get into this long, lengthy green flag run, that's when the tire degradation kicks in. I'm pretty impressed here with Garrett Walden holding such a steady lead here. Joe Irwin, kind of the privateer driver, as you've got Kenneth Redinger of Venom Racing, Jesse Whittington of Cypress Academy, and Garrett Walden of Cypress Academy as well. They're book-ending 1st and 4th place there. Sharn Hill, number 5 car, running in 5th. Impressive bounce back for Sharn Hill. And Jesse Whittington making a pit stop here with 41 laps left to go. Maybe a strategy call here. I'm not sure exactly. It's under green flag pace. This is going to be it's got to be a strategy call. If he knows that he can go out there on fresh tires for 40 laps and outrun the rest of the field on pace alone. Probably figures that he's not going to lose a lap here. He's going to stay on the lead lap. Now actually falls a lap down, so he's 1 lap down officially. Yeah, and that's the deal. I think everyone's kind of having to make their final pit stop here with 40 to go instead. I thought we might be able to see everyone make it to the finish, but it's on the short side of 100 that these drivers must have had it kind of pegged for, 60 to 70 laps instead of 70 to 100. Very strategic nonetheless. We'll see how it shakes out here. It was already pretty evident that the 03 had used his stuff up. But yet he's the one staying out the longest here with Kenneth Redinger leading the way. Sharn Hill in 3rd, Matthew Fritz in 4th, Charles Stevens Jr. in 5th. Matt Parasini pits. Garrett Walden already pitted. Looks like majority of Cypress Academy coming down pitting. Here's where the advantage reigns true. The 43 on fresh tires, you can see closing in like an angry hornet. Oh, the 03 overdrives it hard there and smashes into the wall. .35 laps left to go. The 43 getting his lap back, driving around the outside. The 94 also coming through the field now. This would eventually be a battle for the lead as the 43 has the advantage right now on the 94. But they won't see the lead until these leaders decide to pit. There goes the 94 of Jesse Whittington. Has his sights set on the 43 of Garrett Walden, his teammate, who has been dominantly holding the lead for such a long time here today. The undercut, I think, is what gave Jesse Whittington such an advantage here, as he pitted first amongst the leaders. Garrett Walden came the next lap. Well, because of that undercut strategy, he was able to close the gap from him to the leader, Garrett Walden, by about half. What was about 3 seconds deficit is now only 1.5. And Jesse Whittington's got to have a shot here to fight with his teammate for the win. The fact that so many drivers waited to pit so late, it's actually going to cost them in the end here, the grand scheme of things, as the other cars have been out now on fresher tires, turning quicker laps and putting a big enough advantage that they now have the lead on some of the drivers that were ahead before. Alrighty, down to 30 laps left to go in this one. Jesse Whittington still trying to catch up to the 24 of Garrett Walden. Walden extending his lead up to a 2.17 second advantage. Top two in the field still have not yet pitted. It looks like Vince Brent pit now, and that's going to relinquish the lead over to Josh Hall.
The yellow flag is out.
Well, Josh Hall stays out front here when the yellow comes out. We're under caution for what I think is the 8th time here today. And this will put us under caution with 29 laps left to go. So time to dial up the butt kicker replay here on lap 130. We've got the 31 of Jay Stinson. Looks like he simply loses it on the hot spot of the racetrack where they've been losing it all day so far. Caution comes out, and we'll be under caution here. I'm going to step away from the computer for just a moment, but I'll try to be back right in time for the restart.
Green, green, green.
Alrighty, back with the restart here. 25 laps left to go. Didn't miss anything with the restart. Whoa, the 99 gets a good old bump there from the 03 of Joe Irwin. Those two have been going at it for the last several laps here, and that could have ended badly. I don't know if the 99 very happy with the, oh, and oh no. Still manages to keep it going straight here, no caution. But that was kind of a unfortunate meltdown there, it looked like. Joe Irwin unfortunately set off a bomb, it looked like. 99 overdrove it, and he falls all the way back outside the top 10. Tough break there for Kenneth Redinger, who had a great race going up until that point. Garrett Walden, your leader. Jesse Whittington second. Third place, Joe Irwin. And Irwin back with 4 good years, 4 Supermans. He's flying around the track, making moves left and right. He's on the attack. He's up to second. Matt Parasini back to where he once was earlier in this race. Could he storm back to the front? 22 laps to go. Cream is rising to the top here. For Josh Hall, it looks like the advantage is the fact that he stayed out as long as he did there. Able to come down pit road, get fresh tires. He just turned his quickest lap in the race last time. He's up to 10th right now since the restart. He's going to be running about half second faster than most of the people around him on fresher tires there. To go, and here comes Joe Irwin lurking in the background like a shark. 43 of Garrett Walden has not put a wheel wrong here today, has kept it quiet, kept it clean, and flying under the radar. Leading a lot of laps here. He's going to have to defend against the hard-charging Joe Irwin. How hard does Joe Irwin push here? And is he going to push it past the envelope? Is he going to overdo it, fight for the lead here? Right there on the back bumper, the 43. 19 laps to go. Matt Parasini gets up into the podium. Third position right there. 1.1 seconds back. Could he potentially get back into the mix, fight it out between Joe Irwin and Garrett Walden? If these two start getting side by side, that'll only help Matt Parasini close the gap even more. 1.11 is the distance he's going to have to close on Joe Irwin. And he's closing that gap already down to 0.9. Been great racing all day here from New Hampshire. A lot of strategy. A lot of, back and forth with drivers falling backwards, on things that were out of their control, mistakes made, or accidents that they didn't exactly ignite, but still have been able to work their way back up to the front. Joe Irwin and Matt Parasini, two of which are the most resilient here today. Parasini spun out from the lead and was dominantly holding the lead for the longest time here today. Has had to work methodically to get back in the rhythm here, but with 15 laps to go, could still be a factor.
Caution, yellow flag.
And that might just help Parasini even more as we get another late race caution here. You can see the darkness starting to roll in here at New Hampshire. 15 laps is probably going to be about all this track's got left for daylight. So we'll go ahead and dial up the butt kicker replay here and see what brought out this late race caution. So here we have the 92 of Vince Brent. He's having a decent run there, it looks like, in the top 10. Running about 7th, loses it on the exit of turn 4 there. Clips the inside wall, and the car just loses traction, comes back up the race surface, hits Gomes, Billy Titoff involved. Baines gets through. Oh, the 31. Unfortunately, Jay Stinson could not get through that one. Clubs them there on the side as they come skidding across the start-finish line. So this is, oh, Parasini pitting. Wow, what's with the strategy call there? Half the field stays out. No, actually, only 4 cars stay out. Your top 3, well, top 3 of your top 4 stayed out. Parasini, the first to come down pit road. Fresh tires for Parasini. The worst he's going to come out is 5th. Or actually, the best he could still come out is 5th. He rejoins in 6th, so not bad at all. Very worthwhile pit stop here with 13 laps to go. Fresh setup for the final push. He might be able to charge from 6th to the front while the other cars have been using up their tires. Matthew Fritz, your pole setter. He's trying to get back to the front here. It's been a lengthy battle to get back up here since he last led on lap 40. It seems like they've made some adjustments to number 67, and it's looking stout. Commits to the high side. 03 of Joe Irwin on the inside. Matt Parasini in the best position possible on that outside line. The outside line is the one that always gets going on these restarts. We've seen third and 5th on the outside usually come out 2nd and 3rd. Lap shootout here. It's going to be for all the marbles here. These drivers raring and ready to get a win tonight. For Garrett Walden, it would be his first win of the season. Charles Stevens Jr. and Joe Irwin looking to get their 2nd. I want to say Charles Stevens has a win this season. Might be mistaken. But here we go. Fritz also looking for that first win this year. Number 67 has been stout here. 24, Parasini staying high. 3 wide as the 94 comes charging through the field. Fresh tires. Reigns supreme. 10 laps to go. The 24, 3 wide to the very bottom. Pericini jumps to second on a move that looked like it was not going to work.
Caution.
No,
yellow
the
flag.
94 spins it out. And they're wrecking all over the place. So we're going to have to see exactly what transpired there. A little bit of butt kicker replay action here. Number 99 is right there behind the 72. We saw the 94 of Jesse Whittington getting loose. I wonder what that was all about. Looks like his car just hooks out from underneath him. The 99 just hooks the 81 and spins him out. That's questionable. I don't know if you can cover that one up. That looked pretty bad. Yeah, I don't know. Just a lot of pent-up energy throughout the back end of the field there. It's kind of hard to tell how any of that was going to turn out. Yeah, I'll take back what I said. The 81 got loose in front of him. There was nothing that Redinger did wrong there either. It's just tough racing at the back end of the field there. Oh, well. We'll get set up for another late race restart here. And the action has only continued to intensify all night here. Yeah, Charles Stevens got the win at the one track where the win was revoked. That's what I was thinking. So Stevens could potentially get win number 2. And then Joe Irwin, that is, could end up with his second win. But sitting first and second right now, Garrett Walden would be win number 1 on the season. Matt Pericini would be win number 1 on the season. Ryan Gomes up into the top 5 now. Matt Baines, Justin Parham, Vince Brent, Sharon Hill. Everyone else pretty much looking for their first win in the top 10. So the only 2 outliers, the 84 of Charles Stevens Jr. and the 03 of Joe Irwin. And if we thought that last restart was wild, just you wait until the green flag drops on this one. 7 laps to go, 6 laps next time by.
Green flag, green flag.
We're rolling. 84 with a great start on the outside. 24 Pericini has the fresher tires though. Is he going to be able to capitalize on the advantage that he's got over the rest of the field? Sticking it down on the low side. Closing the gap on the 43 ahead of him there. 1, 2, our drivers seeking their first win of the season. 24 fresher tires. It's going to be hard for the 43 to hold them off. Closing the gap. Pericini from leading the race way earlier. Coming back.
Caution, yellow flag.
Under caution yet again. This is going to be the longest 5 laps for Matt Pericini and Garrett Walden. Each restart makes it harder for Pericini to get going as Garrett Walden sets the field for the restart. So now that we're looking at potentially a green-white checkers here, it could get harder for Pericini to actually make it happen. Let us watch the replay here on on this most recent caution. 99 clips the 44 of Jorge Ledesma Jr. And he kind of drove sporadic line there, cutting up in front of Jesse Whittington. Some wild racing at the back right now. Definitely some great finishes that are slowly becoming unrailed here today. Derailed, that is. Jesse Whittington, as far back as he's been here tonight, running in 13th. Your pole setter, Matthew Fritz, currently sitting in 10th. But on the contrary, you've got the likes of Matt Baines up into the top 5. It's been almost all day to get him back up into the top 5, where he qualified 6th here today. Joe Irwin still hanging in tightly, 4th place plus 10 from the start. Charles Stevens Jr., haven't seen a whole lot of him at the front today, but here he is, closing it out with the podium at the moment. And then Matt Parasini and Garrett Walden, your top 2. The lights are off on the pace car. We're going to have our first attempt at a green-white checkers here tonight. Will we be able to get it finished here, or are we going to have multiple attempts at a green-white checker? Definitely a heartbreak for a couple drivers. The 99 had a good one going and has been involved in the last 2 wrecks. Here at the end of the race, lap down in 16th place for Kenneth Redinger. He had podium speed here today, just wasn't meant to be. Jesse Whittington had been up in the front, fight for a win. 13th, not very pretty, and makes that points conversation possibly tighten up a little bit with regular season championship implications, possibly. He's still got a good lead, though. I don't think it's going to squander much of it here tonight.
Green.
And we're back and rolling. 24 does not get started. Very slow getting through the gears. The 24 struggles the most, and he's going to have less laps to do anything about it. The 03 of Joe Irwin waking up here on the final restart. 84 loses it, regains it. We're going to stay green, no caution, as they're 3 wide for the lead. 3 wide for the lead. The 24 threads the needle, and he's on the inside. Joe Irwin gets bumped up to the eye side. He's going to have 3 more turns to make it happen. Is he going to have enough time? The 24, Matt Parasini, or the 43 of Garrett Walden. He's going to drive it in deep here. That's all he's got. He's going to try one valiant effort here. Sticking on the low side, driving it on the inside. The 24 is going to have the advantage. Drag racing down the front stretch, bumping and banging. The 43 clears it, wins the race here, holding off a hard charging Matt Parasini. That was the tightest finish we've had here in our first 7 races. Garrett Walden gets the job done. Matt Parasini was just on the rebound to try and get the win here tonight, but comes up oh so short. Man, what a wild race here tonight, folks. That was a treat. We had a near photo finish at the end of this one. This one will be a race that's talked about for a while. Going into our holiday break, especially, the excitement is going to carry on into a 2-week stretch here where there's no race the next week. I can only imagine how exciting next week, the week after Thanksgiving will be for these drivers. And we are officially 7-4-7. 7 different winners in the first 7 races. The parity of this series unmatched right now. Stellar performance from Garrett Walden. He was second in the points on a big night where Jesse Whittington unfortunately got dropped backwards here. Whittington came home 10th. Garrett Walden with the win. That points deficit might start to shrink a little bit, and we could potentially see a battle between Garrett Walden and Jesse Whittington during the regular season here. Well, I think the adrenaline's kind of wore down here a little bit. Let us present to you the result standings for the race here. So, race results are in. Garrett Walden, of course, your winner. Matt Parasini brings it home second. Joe Irwin third. Followed by Ryan Gomes. Sharn Hill, fifth for the number 5 car. Matt Bands, Vince Brent, Matthew Fritz, Billy Titoff, and Jesse Whittington. Then you had Justin Parham, Josh Hall, Jorge Ledesma Jr., Lauren Vincent, Charles Stevens Jr., Kenneth Redinger, and Jay Stinson. Alrighty, so we'll go ahead and do our post-race interviews here tonight. Coming in with the 3rd place finish on the podium here tonight, the 03 of Joe Irwin. Definitely an up and down night for him. We'll grab him for the interview here. Jacob in the booth, do you copy?
Yes, sir. How we doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, man. I'm wore out. This VR headset makes my eyeballs sweaty on this long one.
Well, that's a whole nother level of realism there, I imagine. Getting the headset and everything so that you're, looking right at the racetrack, right in your face. Definitely an up and down night for you. You had the speed all night. You got spun out a little bit earlier and still were able to bounce back, resurge to the top of the field. What about New Hampshire do you have to say?
Man, it was tough this season. The way the car's set up now, it's super tight, so it's hard to get the car to turn. And it's weird. I don't know if it would be considered a short track. It's a shorter track for sure, but it's crazy how small the track is and how much dirty air still impacts the cars. So that was really the name of the game, I think, was uh, trying to pass people as soon as possible and not getting stuck behind them in the dirty air. And as far as like going to the back and then back to the front, however many times tonight, man, that's just kind of how I drive. Like, aggressive, and as you've seen this season so far, it's wreckers or checkers.
Well, and
But I think
it's definitely exciting. I enjoy watching the charge through the field. I kind of gave you the nickname Glass Cannon here tonight because it's very volatile, but at the same time, you're still turning them into results. So kudos on the speed and it's exciting to watch. That's for sure.
yeah, I think the speed, and then I definitely got lucky a couple times with the pit cycles. That one caution that came out during the pit cycle, I got lucky, and I had like one lap on my tires when we re-racked. So yeah, we were able to get back up there.
Well, how about for friends, family, sponsors you want to thank here tonight?
I don't have any sponsors, man. Um, like I always say, I just appreciate my family for letting me do this. things have been pretty hectic. We're expecting a baby any day now. Could be tonight. I mean, heck, I don't know. So things have been hectic. So it's nice to get some time to myself to be able to do this. So I thank my wife for that, and thank you for putting on the show so friends and family can tune in. And thanks to the other guys you're about to talk to, Matt and Garrett. They're good guys and they race clean, hard and clean. And I'm super glad that Garrett got a win because I not 100% have cost him a couple races so far this season, but like we talked about, and just the way I drive, I've gotten into him a couple times, and that's the last person that I would intend to to do that to. So glad he finally got to take one home, and look forward to racing him in the playoffs.
Heck yeah. No, great podium here tonight, dude. And um, yeah, sounds like you got a lot going on there. Congratulations on all that too.
Yeah, thank you, man.
And we'll catch you in the next one. Have a good night.
You too, brother. Thanks.
Whoop. And so, with that, we'll go ahead and pull in our second place driver here with the 24 of Matt Parasini. Jacob in the booth, do you copy Matt?
Yes, I do.
Well, how about that? You came home from, getting spun out of the lead and put together one heck of a finish there. I mean, that looked like it was photo finish worthy at the end, but just came up short. Um, what's going through your mind right now after that finish?
I'm just happy that I was able to recover after my self spin from the lead. I caught that bump off of turn 2 and it just snapped the car loose, and then it was a battle to get back to the front for the rest of the race. So, I'll take it. Stage win, P2 finish. Probably the best race I've put together so far this season. And hopefully this momentum can continue now, and we can fight here for a playoff spot in the Slaughter Racing Design Chevy.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. I mean, the resurge there, a little bit of caution fever to help kind of get you caught back up as well. And there's a couple drivers that had to work their way back through the field, and you were the one that kind of proved it was, possible. We saw Joe Irwin do the same thing here tonight, but was the track tough? I mean, the dirty air is obvious with these next gen cars, but clean air up front's always king. How was it when you got back there? Was it just that hard to get through the traffic?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, I'm sure, everybody noticed. I mean, the preferred lane for most people was running that second to third lane. So that basically forced you to have to pass on the bottom. Now, typically for me at this track, because I know nobody likes running the bottom, that's where I practice the most, is trying to get my bottom to work and get the car to turn. And so for me, I was running the bottom pretty much all night. So, but the problem is when you run the bottom and the guys have run the upper line, they always have the momentum. So it usually takes about 25, 30 laps for the tires to start wearing. And then once that starts happening, you can start prevailing and making the passes. But other than that, it's really, really hard to pass at this track.
Yeah, New Hampshire's interesting because it's not quite a short track, but it's not really an intermediate either at 1 mile. The flat banking, I think, has a lot to do with that. So congratulations on the bounce back up to second. And is there any friends, family, sponsors you want to thank here tonight?
Well, I always like to thank my wife, Leanne, and my daughter, Johanna, for letting Dad come out and play with the boys once a week. It's just kind of my way to take some steam off and just have some fun with my friends and buddies and stuff. And I'm glad I get to thank Jeff Slaughter from Slaughter Racing Designs. He's a really good buddy of mine. He painted this car for this season. It is absolutely spectacular. You can see it from anywhere on the racetrack. I love driving it, and I'm really happy that we were able to give it a P2 finish. Just thanks to the admins of the SCSRA for everything that they do, and then, of course, for you for the broadcast.
Oh, yeah, no problem at all. Congratulations, and thank you for putting on such a spectacular show here tonight. that 24 is definitely it's a neat looking car. I like the Jeff Gordon inspired kind of tribute scheme there. So have a great
Yeah, well,
Thanksgiving. I guess I don't know if you're in Canada. Why would I be?
yeah, no, we don't get. We already had ours. Ours was in October, so yeah, yeah. You have a good Thanksgiving as well, and happy Thanksgiving to all my American friends as well. I've got a lot of American friends in this league and other leagues and stuff. So happy Thanksgiving to you guys, and yes, us Canadians will still be working on Thanksgiving.
Alrighty, well have a great night, my dude, and we'll see you in the next one.
You betcha. Thank you very much.
Yep. And then the man of the hour, the one that held him off in photo finish style, 43 of Garrett Walden, who sits second in the points and had a stellar performance here tonight, sealing the deal at the end of the race. Jacob in the booth, do you copy, Garrett?
Yes, sir.
Well, how about that, man? That was a tight battle right to the finish there, but you had a car that was tough to beat. You got out there to about a 3-second lead at one point, and obviously the tire advantage for the 24 kind of made things a little bit touch and go there on the final restarts. But what all was going through your mind after that, finish here tonight?
Man, I kind of feel almost vindicated for myself just because I felt like early on the race, like I'm gonna be lucky if I get a top 10. I'm aiming for a top 5, but I'll just be good with a top 10. And I started coming through the field, people's tires wearing off. I started realizing I could roll the center much better than everybody. I was like, okay, this is where I can get them. I can roll the center and just carry speed through the corner. We had the long runs. I was great at saving my tires. Got out to, like you said, 3 to 4 second lead. Even on people that had pitted after I did, I was still out there pulling away. I was upset that we had the caution after a green flag stopped because I had gapped second place already by 2.5 seconds. And after that, I was like, well, I have track position. I can't give that up. So I just tried my best to save the tires as I could. And luckily, it was enough at the end to where Matt could roll the center, obviously with fresh tires, but I was able to get him on exit coming out of 4.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. You definitely had one of the most consistent runs all night. We had a couple comers and goers that were up front. We had, Matthew Fritz that led for the first 40 laps. Matt Parasini that was leading for majority of the race up until he spun. And then after that, it was kind of your game at that point. And so, yeah, strategy-wise, you were able to stay up front, kind of keep the position, and that clean air out front is obviously king. But is this a track that you're comfortable with? Was this a track that you kind of had marked on your calendar, or was it kind of a surprise here tonight?
It's not really one of my favorites, but it is, a track that I realize that I'm good at because I understand how the track runs, what lines you could run, how the car rotates, especially through the center of the corner. I kind of think of the track as a bigger Martinsville, that you want to rotate the center. That's where you want to get your speed and have a good exit. You don't want to overdrive the entry. Car will slide up. You burn your tires. And I kind of just understood that the most. I think on this track, it took me a while. I've been racing for a while, but it took me a while to understand it. But once I got it, I was like, I think I run this, I'm going to be tough to beat. And it just, proved tonight that it was the case.
No, that's awesome, man. I mean, you showed it here tonight. Had the strength, had the speed, and track position as well. Any friends, family, sponsors you want to thank after this one?
Yeah, I just want to shout out to the team. Matt finished in second. Cypress Academy, Matt second. Vince in 7th. Jesse drove back up to a top 10. All of us, racing good together. You for putting on the broadcast, of course, every week for us, having a great something to watch afterwards. And then the admins for putting on this league and doing all the heavy lifting behind the scenes, from watching replays to doing the points and stuff for everybody. It's just a great league to be a part of, and I'm happy to be here.
Well, you get to roll into the Thanksgiving break with momentum. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, because obviously momentum's going to be stalled for a week. So enjoy your Thanksgiving break on the racing side of things here. And we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you, sir.
Have a good night. Well, that puts a nice, neat little ribbon on the race here tonight, folks, as had one of the closest finishes this season. There's your podium finishers right there sitting at the start-finish line. Garrett Walden wins the race, Matt Parasini in second, and Joe Irwin third. Thank you for everyone tuning in, and for those of you that are catching the race on replay here today, whenever you're watching it. We won't be racing next week, as we'll be sitting down for turkey dinner on the U.S. side of things here. So we'll definitely get back and rolling first thing in December, though, with the next race on the calendar, which will be... The next race will be Charlotte for what will be the Coke 300. So it's going to be a long night. It'll be day to night transitional race. So there's going to be 2 stages, 35 stage break, and then lap 100 stage break. Next week, I mean, it might as well have a break now and then head into the big race of the season midway here, as that one will be the one that most drivers want to be able to claim. As we've got 7 different winners in the first 7 races, could we see 8 potentially? The unknown or uncertainty of a longer race such as Charlotte being 200 laps in total, we might see more attrition. You might see more mechanical wrecks, failures, whatever it might be. You might see a larger field too. You might see upwards of 20 plus cars. Who knows? So hopefully you'll turn in for that one. It should be a good one from Charlotte in 2 weeks' time, December 4th. 3rd, my bad, not the 4th. December 3rd, next following Wednesday after Thanksgiving. So congrats again to Garrett Walden getting the win here tonight. That was a hard-fought battle, and he earned that one fair and square. Drag racing to the start-finish line in one of the tightest finishes we've seen this season. Thank you for everything this show series puts on. All the racers, all the family and friends that tune in. Thanks for Intensity Broadcasting giving me the opportunity to call the racing action too. I'm excited for the next one. I'll definitely be in food coma this time next week, probably the following day. But yeah, thanks again, everyone. Have a great night. Stay safe out there. And until next time, this is Jakester signing out.